Hello, and thank you for tuning in to my Week 15 Lab 5 for BIO250 Anatomy and Physiology. This is my dissection of a cow's eye by Leah Carrasquillo. As I began my lab, I noticed there were 5 exterior parts to the cow's eyeball, the first being the cornea. This is the clear dome-shaped type of lens and helps the cow's eye to focus light up to 80%. I consider the cornea as the microscope of the eyeball, which helps the cow's eye to focus on objects that are much farther away. In our case, the cornea is not hard simply because it's been soaking in a sealed, preserved packaging for so many weeks. Located in front of the eye, just under the cornea, is the sclera. This is the white part of the eye that is made up of tough connective tissue layers that actually protect the eye. The sclera is also surrounded by blood vessels as well. This would be part in humans that would become bloodshot if you have ever experienced that feeling. Now moving over to the back side of the eyeball, you should be easily able to find the muscle, which is sort of a darker, more brown color as compared to the fat, which is a yellowish white color. And between all of that, you may have to dig around a bit, just as I did for the optic nerve. The optic nerve is super comparable to a wire-like object for the eyeball that signals information to be sent to and from the cow's brain. Best known as a sensory pathway, being that the eye is a part of an entire sensory network. For my first incision, I began cutting right along where the cornea and sclera meet. As I cut precisely and carefully, I was able to notice the cornea is clear and perfectly round in size. Just below where I cut out the cornea layer of the eye is the iris and pupil. The pupil actually signifies a blank space in the eye, almost like a space for the eye within the iris. After dissecting the cow's eye, I noticed the pupil is actually not black, but it is indeed clear, and it appears to be black just because there's no light shining behind it. Now, speaking in terms of the iris, that is actually a muscle, which helps the eyeball constrict and or dilate. It can help the cow's eye open and close, allowing much specific amounts of light to come in. The pupil shrinks in the light and gets much bigger in the dark. My next incision began with removing the actual iris by gently pulling apart with tweezers. The iris was extremely fragile and I had to ensure my tug wasn't too fast, but just more like a wiggle out of place to ensure it didn't rip apart. I found it to be like almost removing contact lenses. The actual pupil of a cow is not round, but is more oval-like, therefore proving this grazing land animal needs to watch its prey a little bit more carefully from its peripheral vision. This is where the importance of having an oval eye comes into play. The cow is able to see much more with an oval-shaped eye as compared to humans with a round eye. Next, I will move on to the removal of the lens. This is another clear and fragile part of the eye. I found the best way to remove this lens was with a pair of tweezers, again with a gentle scooping motion. The lens should pop right out with an almost resemble a sack-filled little marble. The job of the lens is to focus on light that is the actual remaining 20% of whatever the cornea did not cover. Second to last is the retina that is just behind this jelly-like vitreous body. The retina is located in the back wall of the eye where the rod and cone cells connect. This is specific nerve endings for sight. These sensory neurons allow both humans and animals to see in low light situations, while the cone cells help to see in color. After reshaping the actual eye with my scissors, I was able to notice the retina begin to detach itself from the walls, moving inward and proving to be just another thin cell layer. After dissecting further, I was able to come across the optic nerve and retina being attached completely. This is where the optic nerve begins to collect all vision data, eventually sending those signals to the cow's brain. Lastly, underneath the retina and the optic nerve attachment is an iridescent-like film coating that is also attached to the choroid. This is a colorful and shiny bluish-green in color substance that allows the cow to see at night by reflecting the light that is absorbed through the retina. This is Leah Carrasquillo for BIO250 Anatomy and Physiology. I hope you all enjoyed my video and thank you for watching.